Trent Alexander-Arnold, Xabi Alonso, Mbappé, now with more experience under his belt, and the rise of Arda Güler. This new Real Madrid team looks terrifying. After a disappointing season, change was inevitable, and now a new era begins. New faces, new tactics, but the goal? Still the same. Win trophies. So, does this new version of Madrid have what it takes? Let's find out. Calling Real Madrid's 2025 season disappointing might actually be an understatement. When you add Kylian Mbappé to a team that just completed the double, you expect more silverware, not less. Yes, Madrid lost to Atlanta in the UEFA Super Cup, but Mbappé, Vini, and Bellingham all clicked. It looked like they were ready to crush everyone. But that joy didn't last. Madrid then went nearly 3 months without playing well at all. They bounced between first and lower spots in La Liga before everything collapsed again. In the one competition where they were supposed to dominate, the Champions League, they lost to Arsenal. So, what happens when Madrid has a bad season? They bring in a new manager, the easiest scapegoat. Carlo Ancelotti had done an incredible job with this squad over the years, winning both the Champions League and La Liga in 2024. That's impressive, especially considering Perez never really replaced Benzema. Madrid's only natural number 9 was Joselu. Bellingham was a fantastic signing, but Ancelotti, a man known for the eyebrows, deserves credit for unlocking his full potential. Jude arrived in Madrid as a number 8. Carlo turned him into something else entirely, a hybrid between an attacking midfielder and a forward. Bellingham, Vini, Kroos, Rudiger, they all had their best individual seasons in 2024, because that's what Carlo does. Just look at his resume. Ronaldo had his best season under him in 2015, Benzema in 2022. At Chelsea, it was Drogba, and back at Milan, Kaká won the Ballon d'Or. Carlo doesn't just manage, he creates an environment where stars thrive. But here's the thing, Carlo's teams have always struggled in league play. He once blew a title with PSG, despite taking over when they were top of the table. They ended that season with 0 trophies. In 3 decades as a manager, he's only won 6 league titles. When you think about all the talent and clubs he's had, that's a bit underwhelming. Still, Carlo isn't just a football legend. He's a Real Madrid legend. But as great as he was, it was time for a change. Enter Xabi Alonso. The midfield maestro returns, but not as a player this time. He's now the one in charge. The calm, classy conductor of Madrid's midfield is now their head coach. He arrived at Bayer Leverkusen in late 2022, when the team was at the bottom of the Bundesliga. Not just struggling, sinking, but under Alonso, everything changed. He took over mid-season and saved them from relegation. But he didn't stop there. By the end of his first full season, he had led Leverkusen to their first ever Bundesliga title, without losing a single match. That had never been done before in Germany. The so-called Farmers League had a new champion, and they didn't just win, they dominated. They outclassed Bayern head-to-head and proved they were the best team in Germany. Leverkusen also lifted the DFB Pokal and even reached the Europa League final. Think about that. Alonso's team was just 1 match away from an unbeaten treble. That would have been one of the greatest managerial achievements of all time. Xabi Alonso made Leverkusen thrive with smart, adaptable tactics. He used a back 3, dynamic wingbacks, and a controlled midfield. The team played fast, pressed high, and each player had a defined role, blending creativity with structure. Many players flourished under him. Florian Wirtz, who played just behind the striker, became one of the top young stars in world football. He was the mind behind the attack, constantly creating chances and pulling the strings. Then there was Granit Xhaka, who came over from Arsenal. He brought leadership, calm, and stability to the midfield. He helped organize the team and moved the ball with purpose. And then you had 2 of Alonso's most important weapons, Jeremy Frimpong and Alejandro Grimaldo. These 2 played as wingbacks, and they never stopped running. Victor Boniface led the line. With his movement and clinical finishing, he gave defenders nightmares. Now that Alonso is at Real Madrid, he brings all of that with him. His football is modern, intelligent, and fun to watch. If he sticks with a similar system at Madrid, many players will thrive. Take Arda Güler, for example. Much like Wirtz did at Leverkusen in a free role behind the striker, he excels in tight spaces and creates chances with flair. After a tough start at Madrid due to injuries and competition, he seized late-season opportunities with standout goals and performances. Now, with Xabi Alonso taking over, his future looks even brighter. Alonso loves creative midfielders, the ones who can break down a defense with a single touch. And with Toni Kroos retiring, and Luka Modric nearing the end of his legendary career, there's now a clear gap to fill in Real Madrid's midfield, a role Arda Güler looks perfectly suited to step into. Now, let's talk about Jude Bellingham. Bellingham played through pain for most of the 2025 season. He gave everything, even while dealing with a shoulder injury. At the same time, Ancelotti moved him out of his best position to try and balance Vini and Mbappé together. With Alonso now in charge and Bellingham fully fit, we could see his best version yet. Alonso's system at Leverkusen let midfielders push forward, press high, and control the game. A perfect fit for Bellingham's complete skill set. He defends, creates, and scores. He wants the ball, takes responsibility, and never hides. That's why he's seen as Madrid's future. And for Alonso, Bellingham might just become his most important player. Another key figure in midfield is Fede Valverde. Valverde is known for one thing above all, his energy. He runs non-stop. He defends with intensity, and he loves taking long-range shots. In Alonso's system, Valverde is invaluable, the player who fills gaps when others push forward and keeps the team balanced. He's Madrid's engine, tireless, tough, and always dependable. In a squad of stars, he's the glue. He covers, contributes, and brings heart. And then, there's Brahim Diaz. He could become Madrid's spark off the bench. In Alonso's system with two creative players behind the striker, he fits perfectly. Quick, tricky, and fearless on the ball, Brahim can change games with his dribbling and flair. With more minutes, he could earn a starting spot or be a key game changer. Next, let's talk about Tchouaméni, the rock in midfield. Tchouaméni is a perfect fit for Alonso's system, strong, calm, and smart on the ball. At Leverkusen, Alonso used hybrid midfielders like Andrich to shift between defense and midfield. Tchouaméni can do the same. He breaks up attacks, keeps control, and builds play from deep. Whether as a defensive midfielder or centre-back in a back three, he keeps Madrid balanced. His presence allows others like Bellingham and Valverde to push forward. Alonso, once a deep-lying playmaker himself, will know exactly how to use him. Then there's Eduardo Camavinga, a real Swiss Army knife on the field. Alonso loves players like that, versatile, adaptable, and reliable. Don't be surprised if Camavinga becomes Alonso's go-to problem solver. And now Mbappé! Kylian Mbappé could thrive under Xabi Alonso. At Leverkusen, Alonso gave Boniface freedom to roam. And Mbappé can do all of that, but better. With creative midfielders behind him, and players like Trent stretching the field, Mbappé will have space, service, and support. He won't need to drop deep or carry the attack alone. Under Alonso, Madrid's counterattacks could become deadly. One run, one pass, and he's gone. Despite an underwhelming first season, he scored over 30 goals and led Madrid in scoring. With a system tailored to his strengths and a year of La Liga under his belt, he could explode. And of course, there's Madrid's newest Galáctico, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Trent is not a typical fullback. At Liverpool, Trent often played like a midfielder, inverting, dictating tempo, and spraying passes. That fits perfectly with Alonso's system, where fullbacks like Frimpong and Grimaldo had similar freedom. Now at Madrid, Trent won't be judged for defending. He'll create for Vini, Mbappé, and Bellingham. Alonso faces a big challenge at Madrid. If he sticks with a back three, he'll need more centre-backs. Midfielders filling in won't cut it anymore. Expectations are also much higher than at Leverkusen, where media pressure was minimal. At Madrid, every loss is a crisis. But Alonso knows the Galáctico locker room. He lived it in 2009. His experience gives him the tools to manage egos and implement structure. Alonso's Leverkusen was highly disciplined, but with Madrid's talent, he may adapt. One key player, he must unlock Vini. Madrid are at their best when Vini is flying. So now the big question is, will Alonso succeed at Real Madrid? Some fans believe he's the perfect fit. Others aren't so sure. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Will Xabi Alonso be a success at Real Madrid? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.